the girls.
Okay, so what is something that a guy does or something about a guy that would make you submit to him and follow his lead in a relationship versus maybe the standard path these days of kind of like fighting him for the lead?
It's a good question. We can start right here on Mr. Naruto. What would make you, no, let me rephrase it. What would make you immediately submit to a man?
Oh, immediately?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
right?
it was something.
Is it immediately or?
I don't know about immediately, but in general, like if you were to start dating him more than just like hooking up with him, like what's something about him or something he does?
I guess take him serious then and follow his like.
Well, like have full respect for him and allow him to kind of make the decisions without fighting him around the way.
We'll go with that.
I guess if he's just like headstrong and he kind of makes the decisions and like I don't have to really do that because I feel like in like a lot of relationships women have to kind of like take lead and be like I want to do this and I want this and that, and if they do that first and you don't have to ask for it, then I'm kind of like okay.
So you used a very interesting word. You said headstrong. Typically being called headstrong means you're not agreeing, you're being non-agreeable to someone else's will. Would you say that it's important that he stays headstrong even if the girl has a conflicting view?
If he says I mean I kind of sometimes enjoy if like someone just kind of sticks with their opinion, and if they're
regardless of your opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is most important when you guys don't agree on something, right? Like that. If obviously if you guys agree on shit, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. Like you don't have to conform to like my opinion. So I like that. Like just stay with your opinion, and I like you better like that.
Was your ex more like changing his opinion on things and taking his mom's side more than your side?
Yeah, it was kind of like taking his mom's side on things, and like I was trying to make him view like, hey, like I kind of have I felt like I was like mostly right in like most of the arguments that we would have, but he wouldn't see it that way. So
about what though? Like did she tell you to come home earlier or?
I guess it's just like just being in the house sometimes, and then my things were also there, and I just felt that she would kind of like move things around, and I just wouldn't like that. And I'm like, hey, I have my space, and she has her space. Can like she not be in my space? That's all I want. That's all. And like he was like, hey, she could just do that. It's her house too. And I'm like, okay. And I sometimes I'll let it go, but then it'll annoy me sometimes, and I'll like kind of start a problem.
Okay. So headstrong and being decisive. All right. What about you?
Yes, I need Kim's help. Please.
Oh, what was that? Oh, yeah. That's the question again. Okay. Go ahead.
Yes.
So what is something that a guy does or something about a guy that will allow you to submit to him and follow his lead?
With his lips.
No, to allow him to make the decisions
¿Qué es algo que
in the
hace un hombre
relationship.
que a ti te, o sea, te dé la gana de ser sumisa con él? O sea, ¿qué es algo que hace un hombre que tú digas, yo quiero ser sumisa con él porque él hizo eso?
Okay, first of all, I don't like to be submit to a man.
What?
I don't like to be submit to a man.
So you don't want to submit to a man?
No.
So
like
hold on.
How come?
What made you submit to your husband?
Like we take a decision together. Like when he's a gentleman, like he's nice with me, respect, like I like it.
Okay. So you're in charge.
Who's the leader in your relationship? You or your man?
Both. I just
Both.
think there is. Yes, we are in the same level. Like
Yeah, but there always has to be one final decision maker.
Oh, finally, he's make a final decision.
Okay, so he's the leader then.
She don't like that word.
She doesn't want to accept the label.
No, I don't accept that. Okay, I think like the woman make believe the man he's the leader, but they are the woman are the leader.
So you allow
real
him to
leader.
like lead. But you're
Yes,
the leader.
like he's saying he's making decisions, but
It's really you.
yeah,
Okay.
So you don't submit to
Touché.
guys. Okay.
So you don't submit to your husband then?
no, never.
What the?
Go queen.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough.
At least it's honest. At least
All
it's
right.
honest.
What about you?
So what would make me submit to a man is him being able to admit his shortcomings, admit that, you know, maybe he's not always right. Vulnerability, you know, like sharing and like his struggles with me.
Oh, I lost my job today. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Give me all that. Lay it all on me.
Really?
financial and emotional stability and maturity, especially the maturity. And then compatibility and us sharing goals. Obviously, like if he has his business, whatever he wants to do, needs my help, doesn't need my help, that's his business. But for us to have a shared goal of what we want our life to look like.
So he could be broke.
I mean, I would live under a bridge with my man if it came to it. And
Stop the cap.
So would you want your guy to admit his shortcomings to you, or just deal with them by himself and then come back better?
I think it depends on the nature of the shortcoming. Like, obviously, like if we're getting into like a heated debate or a discussion, I would like for him to be able to admit that he was wrong about something or that he misunderstood something.
So you're just saying taking responsibility if a decision he makes goes wrong?
If a decision that he makes, a perspective he had, like whatever it is, just taking responsibility and being like, oh, I misunderstood that. Or, oh, I wish you had communicated this to me, but just admitting that, like not just sticking to a point for the sake of sticking to it, you know? I just feel like maybe that's not conducive to a healthy relationship.
Okay, so you're saying admitting if they're wrong.
Right.
Keyword if they're wrong.
Yeah, if.
Okay. And then you said admit struggles and vulnerability.
Maybe not admit all his struggles. Like I know that sometimes men like to deal with things on their own. And like if it's something that I know nothing about, then maybe I don't need to get involved. But like
maybe you don't.
Okay. That's okay. We can have opinions, right?
Okay.
So vulnerability is like I like for my man to like have like maybe a certain image that he portrays to like the people around him, but then like with me,
He's different.
He's like a little bit softer, just like certain things that of course I would never make public or kind of like express to people that are close to him, people that are close to me, or really to anybody, because those are private things like between us.
Right.
So that's what I mean by vulnerability is like certain private, intimate moments in whatever capacity that we can.
So blackmail.
Oh, my boyfriend is black. Yes.
No. I said
Blackmail.
He's a black male.
Get it?
Oh my
Blackmail.
No, that's evil.
Let me ask the ladies a question here on the panel. What's more attractive? Your guy comes to you with a problem, or he solves a problem and you never heard of it?
Solves it for
Definitely.
sure.
So is it really better for him to be, open and vulnerable with you about his problems or shortcomings as you claim?
That depends on who you ask.
Would that actually make you want to submit to him, which is the question we asked in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it means that he's not always focused on everybody else's problem. He recognizes that he's a human being and that he also has shortcomings, or, that he's just a person. So if you can admit to me, like you're beloved, that you have, things that you're unsure about or whatever it is, then that makes me want to submit to you because you are self-aware and you're emotionally mature.
He's a human being.
Right.
What's the number one thing that women look